Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Mudrunner American Wilds. So it's time for us to take a look at the second map. Now, I have already completed this playthrough that you're about to see, and I'm just kind of going back and doing a little intro for it here, which is why it'll show as being completed when we look at the map. But if we go in here, this is the map. Now, as you can see, again, it has a tarmac kind of ribbon that runs around a good half of the map. You can see it there, starts in the bottom left and runs all the way up to the top right. That's our main kind of tarmac road there, and the rest of it's all kind of log trails and dirt roads and swampy areas. The starting equipment offered again is the Chevy Blazer and the Chevy Bison, but for this playthrough we changed things up a little bit. So we went with the K9000 forwarder, and that thing is truly fantastic. There we go. Now, I had hoped I'd be able to do the Hummer as well in this playlist, but unfortunately I couldn't. Just don't have enough balance points. We only have 5 balance points for this map, and the forwarder takes up all of them. So that's how we get going. So we will try and do something else in the future with the Hummer. But for now, sit back, enjoy my run here on Mount Logmore. Okay, so here we are then. Let's take a quick look at the map now. I have restarted this a number of times to see if the equipment randomly generates, as it did on Grizzly Creek. And some of the equipment does, and some of the equipment doesn't. Now, the K8400 skidder just there, the 8400 there, and the Ford F-150 there, they are permanent fixtures. So they are always going to be those two pieces of equipment presented in those two locations. I haven't been able to get anything different to pop up for those two. However, everything else is a little bit random. So you can see we've got 2 additional trucks showing here, a Western Star 6900 XD and a Ford LTL 9000. Now, sometimes it'll give you a third hidden truck. When I say a third hidden truck, a third locked truck, and it's usually somewhere around here. You know, if it's going to pop an extra truck, it's going to pop there. Now, there is another truck that's going to be sort of unlocked around this watch point as well. So maybe we'll get lucky with the Hummer and get it popping up just there. But if it doesn't, I do plan on trying to 1-star one of these 2 maps after this. And to do that, we basically need to take a 1-star vehicle and then use nothing but the equipment provided. So when we try a 1-star challenge, we'll make sure that the 1-star vehicle is the Hummer. So if we don't get it in this, then we'll do a 1-star challenge afterwards and see if we can find it. And it'll either be on Logmore or back on Grizzly Creek. We'll see how that goes. So as with the other map, we do have this kind of tarmac road. I haven't gone this way to explore down here. Obviously that's where our skidder is, and you can see we've got access to our scavenging area over here. We do have a couple of long logs in there. The rest are all empty at the moment, but that will help to generate some other stuff. And we also have this kind of swampy area over here, and then we have some more scavenge points up here. And you can see we have some short logs as well up there. So again, as we start to take from those, it'll start generating logs in the other scavenge points. I think the plan of action is to basically use our Western Star here. Sorry, not our Western Star, because we want to use the Ford. Is to access the Ford there and then use that to get our garage up and running. Now, the garage is over here, just there, currently locked and hidden. And then the Ford F-150 that we can already jump straight into is here at the 2 lumber mills. And this is a main road that kind of runs all the way around here, goes over a bridge there, and again we've got that kind of weird kind of visual there to let you know that there's a bridge there. It kind of loops around here, back up into this little town area, and then it loops around here and basically goes around this area, up around the watchtower here, and then along the top, and then links back up there. So we've got a kind of a circular road that goes around there, which is going to be kind of, you know, home for our Ford LTL there. So we don't need the skidder, we don't need the forwarder just yet. We are going to jump into the F-150, and as you can see, this one here has actually got a back piece on it there. on the back of the engine bed, which is kind of cool. A little bit different from the one we used last time. No other attachments by the look of it. We do have some repair supplies and a little bit of fuel supplies, as you can see, and the truck has got some damage and not a full fuel tank. So let's use this to repair the damage. We've got a little bit left over in case we have an emergency accident. We may as well use up the fuel supplies as well. There we go. So we are going to go and access the Ford LTL. We drive our way out of the lumber mill. Make our way down here. There's our garage that we need to unlock, as you can see. We've got to go a bit of a way to go and unlock the Ford. We get to follow the road here. There's some really nice little scenic areas in this that we haven't been able to explore because you can't get out on foot, which is a bit of a shame. I'm just going to smash that one's mailbox and knock the fence down. I just want to drive in here and just show you some of the little areas if we can. Four-wheel drive to get over the obstruction. I mean, look at this. It's a little fuel store with a little fuel tank there. It's just a piece of scenery, and there's some spare tyres in there as well. But there are some really nice little sort of shacks and lodges dotted around in this area. It's again a very nice scenic map. It's a very pretty map. It's very different to the default stuff, as we've seen with Grizzly Creek. And again, we've got these lovely kind of wooden signposts. There's the entrance to the lumber mill just there, which kind of does a little horseshoe in and out. I really do like these new maps. They do feel very, very vibrant and colourful. Even with that kind of, pastel coloured, palette that we have, they still feel like they have got quite a bit of vibrancy to them. The greens look a bit more lush than we used to. The dirt isn't just that kind of generic, sort of really miserable swampy look that we've seen on the base game maps. It really does feel a lot more alive. These trucks are really hard to control when you get them up to speed. There's a watchtower up there, look. We will be tagging these a bit later. But first thing I want to do is I want to get the, as I say, get the garage up and running. So we haven't used the Ford's LTL yet, so we're going to use that to get our garage unlocked. We'll make sure it's got enough utility points and garage points to get that garage unlocked. We need 4 points. If you're playing in multiplayer, then you're going to need 8 points, but in single player you only need 4. But the logging plants, the lumber mills, always need 8 log points, per lumber mill, whether you're in single player or multiplayer. So there are a little bit of variances between single and multiplayer, but it's usually just in how many points you need to get the garages up and running. You'll need 4 in single player, 8 in multiplayer. But of course, the more of you there are, the more garage points you can haul, and the larger vehicles can haul usually 4 points as their main attachment, and you can always tow a trailer with you as well. And some of them even go up to 6 points, I think. So we've got a nice little gas depot just there. Again, we've got a nice proper petrol station. There's one of those little scenic sheds there, big fuel tank in the background. And then just around the corner, we should find our Ford LTL as we come into this little town scene. And this is actually a really cool little town over here. One of the things, I was actually talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and we're both saying how we love the fact that the towns actually feel more like proper towns here, where you've got this concreted road that runs all the way through. Whereas on the original maps, you just had these huge boggy swamp-like, just rivers of mud that you had to drive through, and then all of a sudden there's a house and there's an apartment complex, and it's just how you'd have to get into like a military vehicle just to pop down the shops and do your groceries. These actually do feel more like proper towns with a proper road network to a point. So you can see here we've got a hotel there, an Irish pub. I love this, lumber mill warehouse that we have over here. What's this that we've got just here? Is that a convenience store? That's a cafe and a coffee shop. We've got just like a proper community over here. It just feels great. And then over here where the Ford is, we've got a truck shop, which is, again, you can't use it, but as a scenic piece, it looks great. Even with an old broken down car wash behind it as well. These really do feel like proper communities, whereas, as I say, the residential buildings on the older maps were just kind of plonked there, and you had to go through these massive rivers of mud just to get to them, and they were just out in the middle of nowhere. This tiny little block of concrete on the floor, and then just mud everywhere. It's like, how do you get there? These feel a lot more genuine. So let's jump into the Ford LTL 9000. Cover off, and this is with a long log trailer, and this thing looks pretty beaten up. But you can see there we've got the Ford badge on the front. See how this thing sounds. It's not bad, is it? Now we can see out the back window there as well. Poke our head out the window on this side. Okay. Very nice. Okay. So we need to take this back to our starting area. I think we need to go that way. Yes, we do. We need to take this back to our starting area where our loader is, our forwarder is, so that we can configure this with the garage points that we need to get our garage unlocked. And if this looks a little bit different, running wise, I have for this particular run enabled the constant 30 frames per second mode, because I want to see if that gives a visual difference. Now, I'm not 100% certain if that mode is available to everybody, so it might be a pro-only feature. You'll have to check your own settings, but in my settings I do have the option of configuring this for a constant 30 frames per second. And I just want to see if it makes the game run a little bit smoother, or if it changes the visuals in any way. This truck does look nice, even if it does look all beaten to hell. Sounds pretty good, and it wasn't too bad over that little bit of mud there. I mean, the ground is pretty solid, just it's not tarmacked, but I've heard people say that specifically the Freightliner is actually not too bad on the mud, even though it's not suited for off-road. Quite a few people have said that they've been able to use the Freightliner pretty well. I think a couple of people have actually commented on this as well, saying that it's actually not too bad. And there we go, we just unlock the Western Star there. Seeing as we're here. And the dirt road access down there. For something. I tell you what, I do like this engine noise. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And here we go, here's our starting garage, so slam the brakes on. And let's just take a quick look at some of the options that we can fit. So we need to take this off. There we go, and we want to take that off as well. So we can have a fuel system here. We can't take the flatbed semi until we take the trailer hitch. So we can do that, and then we can take the low loader. So we might try doing some low loading actually this time. You see again, this vehicle is not suited for off-roading, but we could do that and then maybe carry a vehicle on the back, maybe our loader, our forwarder. That's something we could look at. We can have a fuel semi-trailer. That thing's pretty massive. Just a standard fuel trailer that we tow behind us. Log carriage, can't fit this because we've got the trailer hitch there. Again, with the log cart, we've just taken one of those off. The long log cart we've just removed. We can take a medium log cart as a trailer. We've seen those on the last run that we did on Grizzly Creek. Utility attachment, again, we can't fit that at the moment, but this will carry 2 garage points and 600 repair points. A utility trailer here, this will carry 4 garage points, 1200 repair points, and then just a standard utility trailer we could tow. So we have a couple of options. We could take the trailer hitch off and we could tow a utility trailer which will carry 2 garage points and also fit the utility attachment, which would carry again 600 repair points and 2 garage points. But seeing as we've got the hitch done, we may as well take the utility semi-trailer like that. This great big monster thing here, and this will carry all 4 garage points that we need and allow us to get that first garage unlocked. So let's get this thing turned around. You should see it's nice and clean and fixed now. Had it repaired. And as always, at one of these garages we can get a partial refill on our fuel tank. Up to 200 litres is what you can put in at your garages. If you want to fill these tanks to the brim, then you either need to do it with a portable fuel tank or with one of the fuel depots on the map, which in our case is like the gas stations. There we go. So off we go. In this big old Ford. I actually quite like this truck. Sounds decent. It drives pretty decent, he says, going straight into the bushes. And it's not too bad on these kind of rough areas. Right, I mean, it's not soft mud. You can see we're struggling a little bit traction-wise. We don't have four-wheel drive on this. We do have diff lock though, which is on permanently, which is a help. So that will keep all of the wheels turning at the same rate. There we go. We just can't engage the all-wheel drive. So going off in areas like that, I think this is, you know, that little entranceway there, once we get beyond it, the truck should be fine, but going through there is an area that this truck would struggle, and we would need to kind of winch our way through. And I'm trying to stop using the winch. You know, I was very, very reliant on winching my way through obstacles, you know, when I first started playing this game, and I'm trying to do it now where I only use the winch as an absolute last resort, or if I need to recover a vehicle. Just for general traversing a map, I try not to winch at all now, and I find it a more rewarding experience, you know, driving around the obstacles and through the obstacles rather than, you know, without winching. You know, I find it, you know, much more rewarding when you achieve that target. Let's pop into the cab as we drive along here. It is once again a very, very pretty scenery, you know, scenic map to look at as we're driving along. Lots and lots of lovely little features dotted around. I spotted a log camp when I was doing a quick scout of the map earlier, and that looked pretty awesome. And we'll no doubt take a look at that as we get to one of the watchtowers. We'll be doing those next. Once we've got the garage up and running, we'll be jumping into the Ford 150, F-150, and we'll be going around and tagging those watchtowers so that we can get those cleared off, and then we'll start looking at moving some logs. And we're going to be using the forwarder for some of that. We might not use it for all because, I mean, that thing is a little bit overpowered, really. It takes all 5 stars to bring it onto the map, which means it's the only vehicle you can bring from your starting equipment, given that it is, a mighty vehicle, it does mean it's going to be quite easy to do, log movements with that. You could just basically load the logs up and stick them on the back, and then because it's a very purposeful off-road vehicle, and you would just go wherever you want to in that thing. You wouldn't have to worry about running the roads and then negotiating around block posts. You could just basically stick them in the forwarder, and that's it. That's all you'll ever need, as long as you're working with medium or short logs. I haven't used it yet for logging purposes, so I don't know if it can actually take medium logs as well as short logs. I would imagine it can, but it's not long enough for long logs. I wouldn't have thought. So maybe you could stick them out the back, and I just don't think it will actually let you lock those down and pack them. They'd stick out to the back too much, I think. Well, we can try. We do have some long logs. We can stick them in the back and see if it will let us pack them down. But I think it's the forwarder is designed for medium logs, and actually, if it's designed for medium logs, it may not even take the short logs. We'll have to see when we get there. At the moment, we've only have long and short logs, so we might not even be able to use it yet. And there we go. There's our garage coming up into view. Just me trying to get a screenshot and crashing. Let's get the lights on. Trying to get a nice screenshot for the thumbnail there. That'll do. Okay, so let's unload the garage points. Voila. So the one-star trucks are recallable, which means you can basically call them to wherever you are, which is great as well. If you roll them, you just jump into another truck and then recall them to wherever you are. And so it could be upside down and halfway up a mountain, and the next thing you know, it's right next to you, the right way up. However, when you recall it, it's kind of like resetting a vehicle in Farming Sim if it has anything in it. So if you had a trailer, for example, and you reset the trailer in Farming Sim and it had product in it, you would lose that product instantly. Or a seeder, you would lose any seed that was in the seeder when you reset it. It's the same with this. So if we recall this truck here, we lose any repair points that it carries and any fuel in the that it has in the add-ons, not in its main tank, but in the fuel supplies it carries with it. So that's fine. We're bringing it here to the garage, and we're going to take a look at configuring this a little bit before we go off and start hunting down those watchtowers. So we have the bed cap here. We could take that off, and that's what we saw the first time. I actually kind of like the bed cap. I think we'll keep that on this time. A little bit different. We have repair supplies installed. We've got a roof trunk, which will add some extra fuel capacity on the top there, like that. What does that look like if I take the bed cap off? Oh, it still gives you that framework. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave the bed cap on. And we're going to take a spare wheel on the back as well for some extra repair points. So we need to stop off at a garage to get these topped up. The nearest one is actually pretty close, as you can see. It's just over there. But we have a watch point here that we're going to tag. Oops. So we'll be driving past that fuel point in a moment, which is why I'm not going to tag it. And then we have another watchtower over here, and that one again is just off the highway. And then we have one in here, and again I think that's off the highway up a mountain, or maybe it's that one I'm thinking of. And then we've got that one there. So again, I've moved that, and I didn't want to move that. Let's reset that one and plonk that there. Okay, so that's our kind of watch points unlocking. They're not too difficult to do, this one. These watchtowers are actually pretty straightforward and easy. So let's get back on the road. So here you can see the fuel point's literally around the corner. Last chance for fuel for a long drive before you get to another one. So we'll pop in here. And now we'll top up our supplies. So we'll fill up our repair supplies, fuel supply first of all. Now we'll get the roof trunk and get that one as well. So we're carrying an extra 100 litres of fuel. And we also have those repair points as well. So if we do something stupid like roll it down the mountain, which, let's face it, I've done before. Did it on Grizzly. I managed to completely flip this thing upside down. I also managed to total a blazer just by clipping a guardrail. Yeah, we're going to need those repair points so we don't completely destroy this thing. I'm also going to drive with all-wheel drive on. It doesn't matter about the fuel usage. We're only using this to scout out these, and we've got extra fuel with us, so more than a second fuel tank. So it doesn't matter that we'll be burning more fuel with all-wheel drive on, or we've got more than enough in supply. Let's get our lights on so we can see where we're going. Would always help. And these things, as you can see, they do squirrel around a bit when you start getting up to speed. I find if you're going to drive faster, it's much easier to do it in cab, because you can get more of a feel as to how much the wheel is turning, whereas sometimes when you're driving in third person you can't quite get that input feel until it's too late. How he says, struggling to actually keep the truck under control in cab. And you catch any kind of mud and it just scrubs all your speed off. And can sometimes pull you into the side of the road. You see some mud splashing up there. Okay, so our first repair point, our first watch point is coming up pretty soon. You're splashing through that mud. And hopefully we'll actually get the Hummer at this first unlock point, although I somewhat doubt it. For some reason it just doesn't want to give me the Hummer as part of my random vehicle selection. And like I said, I reset this game over and over again to try and get it to spawn a Hummer, and it just wouldn't. So whether it's hidden away at this watchtower or not, it's possible, but I highly doubt it. It's a shame, because I really wanted to do the exploring in the Humvee, but just it wouldn't unlock. So, oh, hello. Oh no, wait, it's another F-150. God damn it, we've got two trucks here. We've got a Chevy Bison and a second F-150. Ugh. Where are we? Oh wow, we're all the way over here. I just completely forgot to actually tag those watchtowers. We've just been doing the road. All right, we've got to turn around a bit, I think. So those are the vehicles that are unlocked by the watchtower. I was just not paying attention at all to my compass, which shows me where I need to go for my unlocks. So there should be one, oops, over here. I just didn't see. I was looking for a symbol to show up, and because we hadn't tagged the first one, the one I was looking for didn't show up, which is why I just drove straight past it. Because we can't see the watchtowers when it's this dark. It's just almost impossible to see them. Your peripheral view is quite limited, as you can see. I think the tower is actually just over these hills. There should be a turn off somewhere around here. Let's take a quick look. Where are we? Yeah, so you see the watchtower is just to our left. There it is. There's the watchtower. And you see what I mean? You can't see it unless you're absolutely specifically looking for it, which is why I was relying on that icon to pop up, because we didn't tag the first one. The second icon for this location wasn't going to show. So we'll tag this one, we'll head back to the first one, and then that'll clear the route over to the third one for us. We'll get back on the road, I think. So these are relatively easy to find, and relatively easy to get to, these particular watchtowers. I haven't had any real challenges getting to any of them on my little test run on this map. one that's a little bit trickier than the others, but the other three are all pretty straightforward. Just back our way out of here. Making our way back to our dirt road. You can see our compass is still pointing to where the first one is. Now we could try and rough it off-road, but it's a bit of a trek, and it's gonna, the road is gonna. I think it's the other side of the road anyway. So the easiest thing for us to do is just follow the road around, and we'll get to it pretty quickly. And all I've really done on my first sort of exploration of this is just to drive the perimeter of the map. I haven't gone really into the middle of it and explored the mainland areas and the off-road stuff. So that's going to be a new experience for me, and it'll hopefully be daytime by the time we get to that. So that's the mud that we were splashing up the first time we came through here. Splashing it up again, because why not? Truck's squirreling a little bit. Okay, and are we through those trees? Okay, so we've got a much easier access point a bit further round. So this is what I mean about it's, the easiest thing to do is just kind of follow the road, and then you get pretty close access to all of these watchtowers. Nasty little ditch there. If you're not careful, you can end up potentially rolling a truck. So we've got our bridge here, and now we need to start looking at finding a way across. So I think there's an access road somewhere around here, or we can certainly create one if we need to. Here's a little turn, I think. Or is that just a bit of rock? It's just a bit of rock. Okay, so this one might be one of the harder ones to get to. Let's throw it into first. And try and fight our way through these trees. It's going to be tricky to actually find our way through here, given that it's night time as well. Visibility is going to be limited. And one thing I have noticed as well is that there are rocks. Hey, there is a little trail here, look. I have a feeling there was. There are quite a few rocks around here, so in my kind of preliminary exploration where I was driving the Hummer, I did manage to total the Hummer just by catching some rocks a little bit too quickly. And I wasn't even going that fast, but the Hummer is quite a low to the ground vehicle, actually. So those rocks just ripped through the base of the vehicle and filled up those 300 points of damage really quickly. There we go. So that's cleared out all of that section there. Now we need to sort of head over to here. We need to get rid of that. Navigation point just there. There we go. So now we need to come down here, and you can see we've got this kind of dirt road here. Kind of comes along the water here, so we'll try and take that one. I need to put this into reverse. Try and go back the way we came if we can. I'm going to keep it in a low gear, because again, I don't want to start rolling down this hill too quickly, catch a rock or two and just rip the truck bed to pieces. Easy to do. A little bit more power than that, I think. Yeah, there's our little pathway. Just a fallen tree here in the way, fallen branch. There we go. This is what I said about, trying to avoid using the winch. When you get little obstacles like that and you fight your way through it yourself, it's much more rewarding. Alright, we've got a little dirt path here. Where are we? There we go. So that's the route that we want to take back to the road. It's actually a proper pathway rather than the one that we used. This is what I was looking for the first time. I just didn't quite go far enough to find it, I think. Again, I'm not going faster than standard first gear because it's going to be very easy to damage our truck through here if we're not paying attention and literally rip it to shreds very, very quickly. And there we go, we're out. So engage diff lock for that section there. So I think we need to turn... No, we need to turn left. Turn off diff lock, and this is our turn off just here. This little mountain road, what's that sign say? Vehicles over 40 prohibited. Now, is that 40 foot or is that 40 tons? It could be either. Over 40 years old. Again, it could be. Let's try and follow this trail. And this should take us to the water, I think. And here's what I mean about those rocks, look. Here you go, too fast. Look, just one little clip and it's taken 5 damage, but you get a few of those rocks together. And you take them a little bit too fast and you're just going to rip this truck to shreds. That's how I destroyed my Hummer on my exploration. There's another 5 damage. Again, just clipping the back wheel. That's slightly too fast. I'm only in first gear and I'm not even at full speed in first gear. And that's how easy it is to damage these trucks with those rocks. So you really do have to be careful because you could end up just ripping, as I say, ripping your exploration vehicle to shreds in blink of an eye. And if you do what I do and sometimes forget to fit your repair points, then you're in trouble. Alright, so it looks as though we tagged back up to the road. That looks like that loops back up this way before it goes over this way. So, where do we go from here? We don't have a visual clue yet. So if we go that way, it's going to come down this way over the river. I guess going that way is going to loop back around before it goes that way. We need to get down there, so my guess is the best way for us to go is going to be to go left again. Try and find another access point somewhere off here. Let's get to 1+ for the road. A little bit more speed. Let's see if we can find a dirt path that'll take us down to the river itself. It's the wrong side. Here we go. Truck entrance. A couple of fallen logs in the way. Let's get our way over there. One of those little fuel shacks. And there we go. There is, you can just see the red ring. There is our watchtower. But as this part of marshland here actually goes through the river a little bit as well, so there's a very specific route to take. If you just try and cross in the wrong place, the water is actually surprisingly deep, and yet if you go somewhere else, it's pretty shallow. And, even a vehicle that's lowish to the ground like this will get through without any major issues. Is that the moon I just saw? No, it's just a light from somewhere. There's another one over there, so there must be a building over there somewhere, unless it's the bridge, maybe. So you can see we've got this kind of flat marshland here. Diff lock on so we can move our way through here. You've got these kind of low, flat areas, and you want to stick to the where the grass is to get across here. Otherwise, it's going to get very deep very quickly. I'm actually going to drop down a little bit to mid-range. So if I try and go across here, you can see the ground just showing beneath the surface of the water. If we go in just the wrong direction, it's going to get pretty deep pretty quickly. Like that. So this is not the way to go. So it looks as though we need to go across to that island. There you can see, there's the pathway across. So we need to get across to the other little bit of island. Just over there. Now can we get through that water, or is it going to be too deep? You can see it actually looks quite fast moving. Just there. I'm in reverse. Which means, you know, generally when you see water with that fast-moving ripple effect like that, that usually means it's pretty deep. Can we get across here? I don't know if we can. You're going in pretty steep there. I don't think we're going to make that. Alright, sun's coming up. Let's just sit here for a second and try and figure this out. Where is my way across? I don't know if I can actually get across from this side of the river. We might have to fight our way back up the bridge. Go over and come back down on that side. And then go across that way. I don't think we can get across this way. I don't know. Maybe I'll have another go here. Try to see where the water's shallow. Dangerous water level. Oh, it's pretty rough, isn't it? Try and fight our way through this way if we can. Drown the truck. I need a winch. There is a visual winch point. Come on, fight our way through. Just trying to get that out of the water. Just. Oh, we just made it. That was close. You can see those damage points were racking up pretty quickly. We've already taken nearly half damage there, so let's just get rid of those. Just not waste the full 150. Let's use the spare wheel. There we go. So you can see here we've now kind of unlocked this area here. So all that's left is this one over here now. And this one, there's kind of a dirt path that kind of goes around the side of the mountain to get up there, and that's how I managed to shred my Hummer on the rocks around there. So now we're onto this island here. We can see here. You can see there's a pathway that goes that way over towards the bridge over there. Which way did we come? And there's a pathway that goes over to the beach and then over towards the bridge that way. Which way do we need to go? This way. So let's follow the path out this way. And here you can see this is where the low areas are. And this area with the grass here, this is an area that's low enough for us to actually get through. Still need to be careful. You can see we can actually get through here. It's not too deep. So this grass kind of acts a bit of a guideline in a way. Show you where to go. There we go, we've made our way through. Let's get up. That's the dirt trail. really steep here. Can we actually make our way up here? Yes, just. And there we go, we're up. So, let's stick it into 1+, turn off the diff lock, and head off and find that final watchtower. Let's turn our lights off as well, don't need those on anymore. Stick it into automatic, get some real speed up if we can. We're kind of heading back towards the town. So there, that's the route that goes back to our starting garage. That's up where our forwarder is, and if you follow it round that way, we come to the skidder, which is parked for us. What we're going to do is we're going to follow this around this way, and then as we get to the kind of the mountainy hill over here, this is where we have a watchtower. Now, we've been up this road already with the truck in both directions, but we didn't have a vehicle that was suitable for off-roading. So, can we actually make our way this way? I haven't tried going this way yet. Let's explore this route here. Turn off the diff lock, because on this ground we will damage the truck. Let's go 1+. This is a nice little trail by the look of it, going up and through the mountain. Very nice, very scenic. I was just kind of shortcutting. That's the hill, I think, that we need to be on. Where are we? Yeah, we've shortcut our way around, so we've just basically gone bypassed the hill that we need to climb up, which is over here. So we'll have to take a different access point somewhere along here. Now, way up top there, that's where our watchtower is. And as I say, there is a path somewhere that kind of winds its way around there. It might be back around the other side. Look and see if I can see it. Yeah, you can just see through the trees a little hint of a path, and it's really a very narrow path. And if you try and take that fast, then you have every opportunity to slip off the side and roll down the hill. Somewhere over here, we should see an entranceway for that. This might be it here, actually. Somewhere over here. A bit further around, perhaps. Here we go, I think this is it. Yes, this is it. This is what I was looking for. So this little trail is actually a lot of fun to drive. It really is. And it, as I say, it's very narrow in places. It's not too bad here. It's relatively open ground, so even while the pathway itself is narrow, we've got plenty of space either side of it. But as we start to wind our way around the side of this mountain here, it gets very off camber, and there are a couple of places where you can easily just slip and roll it down a hill. And look at the negative camber as we go through here. As we go around that corner, take that too fast, you're rolling. There are rocks around here as well. Really easy to just lose the back end and tumble down the hill here. See how precarious you can get in places along here. And there's those rocks. Careful through there. Again, look, see, we're on a negative slope. So one wrong move and you're rolling. Oh, that's precarious. There we go, we made it through. And then you kind of wind around up here, and you got this nice little drive up to the flag itself and the watchtower. Oh. some damage from another rock. And there we go. We've reached the top of the little mountain, and we've unlocked the final watchtower. So we can see the full map here now. There are scavenge points over there. There are scavenge points over there. And these are the trucks that we have available. So we have our Ford LTR 9000 there. Over here we've got that Chevy Bison and another F-150. Down here we've got the Western Star, which we're probably going to need for the long logs. We've got our skidder just there, and of course we've got our forwarder as well. Now that, ideally, we want over here so we can try out these short logs. So I think what we'll do is we'll bring the LTL back over to here, to this garage here, and then we'll fit it with a low loader. We'll load the forwarder onto the back of that, and then drive that all the way around to this scavenging area there, and see if the forwarder can actually collect and pack down these short logs. And if it can't, then we'll maybe pack them into the Bison instead, and we'll run that with some short logs. So that's it for this particular episode. Thanks for watching. I am John Bob, and I'll be back with some more Mount Logmore very soon.